Don't confuse pain with passion. Don't romanticize chaos. Real love brings clarity, not confusion. Before we go into why real love shouldn't hurt, let me tell you something. Love is one of the most misunderstood words in the human language. We write songs about it, build movies around it, risk everything for it. Yet so many of us have lived through something we thought was love, only to discover it was pain in disguise. Somewhere along the way, we were taught to believe that love must come with struggle, that deep connection must be proven through suffering, and that true passion comes wrapped in chaos. We began to confuse wounds for warmth. We began to accept hurt as the price we pay for intimacy. We began to believe that the more it breaks us, the more real it must be. But love, real love, was never meant to hurt you. Yes, love will challenge you. Yes, it will require patience, sacrifice, and selflessness. But it will never crush you, belittle you, or make you question your worth. Real love is not a battlefield where you have to fight to be seen. It is not a cage that keeps you trapped under the weight of someone else's insecurities. It is not a storm you must survive to prove its depth. Love is a shelter. Love is clarity. Love is a safe space where your soul can rest without fear of betrayal. If you are listening to this, I want you to understand your heart was not made to be someone's punching bag. Your soul was not designed to be fed crumbs and called it a feast. You were not born to be half loved, half chosen, half respected. And if what you are holding on to brings more pain than peace, it's not love. It's attachment. It's fear. It's control. But it's not love. Now let's dive into why real love shouldn't hurt. 1. The difference between love and possession. There is a world of difference between love and possession. Yet so many people confuse the two because, at first glance, they can look almost identical. In the beginning, possession often dresses itself in the clothes of love. It says the right words. It offers constant attention. It wants to be with you every waking moment. And at first, it feels flattering. You think, wow, this person really cares about me. They can't get enough of me. But soon, you start to notice something unsettling. That attention doesn't feel warm anymore. It feels like surveillance. Their constant calls aren't about hearing your voice. They're about checking your location. Their endless questions aren't curiosity. They're suspicion. Their need to know everything about your day isn't about connection. It's about control. Possession is born out of fear. Fear of losing you. Fear that you'll find better. Fear that you'll realize your own worth and see that they've been holding you down instead of lifting you up. That fear drives them to grip tighter, to close the walls around you so slowly that you don't even notice until the air feels thinner, until you start asking yourself when you last felt free. Love. Real love doesn't need to grip. It doesn't need to cage you to keep you close. It understands that you are not a possession, not a prize to be locked away, not an object to be controlled. Love holds you with open hands. Love trusts. Love knows that when a person truly chooses to be with you, they are not with you because they have no choice. They are with you because they want to be, every single day. Possession makes you feel small so you won't outgrow the cage. Love makes you bigger so you can grow together. Possession fears your independence because it can't control what it doesn't dominate. Love celebrates your independence because it trusts that your growth is good for the relationship, not a threat to it. If you've ever been in the grip of possession, you know how suffocating it feels. You begin to shrink your world just to avoid conflict. You start letting go of friendships because they see what you can't. You stop sharing your dreams because the person you're with is threatened by any vision that doesn't revolve around them. And over time, you lose yourself not all at once, but piece by piece. In possession, I love you often means I own you. But in love, I love you means I see you, I choose you, and I will protect your freedom as much as my own. And here's the heartbreaking truth. Many people stay in possession-based relationships because they mistake control for care. They think, if they didn't care, they wouldn't be checking on me all the time. They think jealousy is a sign of love. They think boundaries are selfish. But the truth is, healthy love has nothing to fear from your freedom. A partner who truly loves you will not clip your wings just to keep you close. They will help you fly higher, knowing that your heart is still theirs, not because they trapped it, but because they earned it. So if you are in a relationship right now and you feel watched, monitored, or controlled, I want you to ask yourself, is this love or is this possession? Because if someone is holding you so tightly that you can't breathe, that's not love, it's fear disguised as devotion. And you deserve more than that. You deserve a love that holds you, not a grip that strangles you. You deserve to be chosen, not chained. And here's the truth no one tells you. The person who truly loves you will never be threatened by your freedom, your friends, your dreams, or your growth. They will see all those things and smile. Because they know your happiness is not a threat. It's the very proof of the love you share. 2. Pain is not proof of love. There is a dangerous belief that has been passed down from generation to generation, whispered in love songs, painted in movies, and woven into the stories we've been told since childhood. If it doesn't hurt, it's not real. We've been conditioned to see love as something we must suffer for, fight for, bleed for, and so many of us have stayed in places that are breaking us because we thought that pain was proof of passion. We tell ourselves, every relationship has struggles, but we ignore the difference between a challenge that grows you and a wound that destroys you. Yes, love requires effort. Yes, love will test your patience, but love will never consistently cut you and then hand you the knife to hold against yourself. Love will never use your loyalty as an excuse to mistreat you. Love will never demand that you sacrifice your self-worth to keep it alive. Pain, when it's constant, is not a test you must pass to prove your devotion. It's a warning that something is deeply wrong. But the problem is, we've been taught to wear our scars like trophies. We brag about how much we've endured. We call it unconditional when we stay through betrayal, disrespect, neglect, and abuse. And slowly, without realizing it, we begin to romanticize suffering. We start believing that the longer we endure, the more valuable our love becomes. But let me tell you something that may save you years of heartache. Longevity doesn't equal love. Time together does not erase the damage. And staying in pain will not transform it into peace. The person who truly loves you will not make you feel like you have to survive them to be with them. They will not turn your love into a battlefield where you are always fighting to be heard, seen, or valued. Real love is not afraid of peace. Real love does not fear calm. In fact, real love thrives in safety. It grows when there is trust. It blooms in kindness. It strengthens when two people are not tearing each other down to prove they care. But when we confuse pain with love, we lose the ability to tell the difference between intensity and intimacy. Chaos feels exciting, so stability feels boring. Emotional highs and lows become addictive, so calm and steady love feels foreign. We start to reject what's healthy, because it doesn't trigger the adrenaline rush we've been conditioned to associate with love. And here's where the truth hits. Love should not feel like you're gasping for air. It should not feel like walking on glass, afraid that the next step will shatter everything. It should not leave you crying in silence, pretending in public, and questioning in private whether you are truly enough. Love should not break you to prove it exists. If you have to sacrifice your happiness just to keep a relationship, that's not love, that's survival. If you are constantly explaining your worth to someone who refuses to see it, that's not love, that's exhaustion. If you have to lose yourself to keep them, that's not love, that's bondage. Love will challenge you, yes, but it will never crush you. It may require patience, yes, but it will never demand your self-respect as payment. It may ask for compromise, yes, but it will never strip away your voice or your joy. So the next time you find yourself wondering if the pain is worth it, I want you to remember this. Real love will make you feel safe, even in the middle of a storm. Real love will hold you steady, not push you closer to the edge. Real love will build you, not break you. And if what you're in right now is breaking you more than it's building you, you don't have to stay just to prove you're loyal. You are allowed to walk away. You are allowed to choose peace over passion, clarity over confusion, healing over hurting. Because love, real love, should never demand that you destroy yourself just to keep it. 3. The danger of romanticizing chaos. We live in a world that has turned dysfunction into entertainment. It's in the music we sing, the movies we watch, the social media posts we share. Somewhere along the way, chaos became the new definition of passion. We've been fed this idea that the more unpredictable the love, the more intense it must be. That the louder the fights, the deeper the connection. That the more dramatic the story, the more romantic it is. We've been sold the idea that real love has to be messy. That if you're not breaking up and making up, if you're not crying in the bathroom one night and laughing together the next, if you're not walking on eggshells and then dancing on clouds, then maybe your love isn't deep enough. But here's the truth they never tell you. Chaos is not passion, it's poison. It's addictive, yes. It's thrilling in moments, yes. But it's also slowly draining the life out of you. One argument, one betrayal, one I'm sorry too many at a time. Chaos gives you highs and lows that can feel like a rush. The good moments feel euphoric because they come after such deep pain. It tricks your brain into thinking you've experienced something magical, when in reality, you've just been through another cycle of destruction and repair. This is how emotional addictions form, not to the person, but to the roller coaster they put you on. You start craving the peaks so much that you tolerate the valleys. You start waiting for the good days to return, even if it means enduring weeks of tension just to get there. But here's the tragedy. Every time you normalize chaos, you lower your standard for peace. You begin to see stability as boring. You begin to see kindness as weakness. You begin to see respect as something optional, as long as the passion feels strong enough. And before you know it, you're no longer in love with the person, you're in love with the drama. You've mistaken intensity for intimacy. Think about it. How many times have you heard someone say, "We fight all the time, but at least we have great chemistry"? How many times have you stayed in a relationship because the highs were so high, even though the lows were killing you? How many times have you called something true love just because it consumed you, even as it left you empty? Here's the truth. Real love doesn't need chaos to prove it's alive. It doesn't need to hurt you to feel real. It doesn't need to break you just so it can put you back together again. Real love is like a steady flame, not too wild to burn you, not too weak to fade away. It's warmth without the firestorm. It's stability without the monotony. It's two people who don't have to test each other's limits just to feel a spark. When you romanticize chaos, you train yourself to expect pain as part of the package. And when peace finally comes along, the kind of love that doesn't shout, doesn't break, doesn't keep you guessing, you might not even recognize it. You might call it too calm, too safe, or too predictable, not realizing that what you're rejecting is actually what your soul has been craving all along. The danger of romanticizing chaos is that it blinds you to healthy love. You become so used to storms that sunny days feel suspicious. You question kindness. You doubt consistency. You wait for the other shoe to drop. Because deep down, you've been conditioned to believe it always will. But let me tell you something, and I hope these words stay with you. Love is not supposed to keep you in survival mode. It's not supposed to make you brace for impact. It's not supposed to feel like holding your breath, waiting for the next explosion. Love should be the place you exhale, the place you rest, the place you feel safe enough to dream, safe enough to grow, safe enough to just be. You don't have to keep mistaking chaos for love. You don't have to keep romanticizing dysfunction because it feels familiar. You can choose calm. You can choose stability. You can choose someone whose presence doesn't feel like a storm you have to weather, but a home you can return to. And when you do, you'll realize something powerful. The deepest passion is not in the chaos, but in the peace that comes when two hearts decide to protect each other from the storms, not create them. 4. Healing before loving. So many of us rush into love carrying open wounds. We think we are ready because our hearts are eager, because we miss the warmth of another soul, because loneliness feels like a weight we cannot carry alone. But here's the truth. If you have not healed, your heart is not open. It's bleeding. And when you give someone a bleeding heart, you give them both your love and your pain. You hand them your unhealed wounds and hope they will fix them. But love is not meant to be a rescue mission. When you do not heal, You begin to choose people not because they are healthy for you, but because they are familiar to you. You are drawn to what feels like home, even if home was filled with hurt, neglect, or rejection. This is why so many people end up in relationships that mirror their childhood wounds. If you grew up feeling unseen, you may choose partners who overlook you. If you were raised around chaos, you may mistake dysfunction for normalcy. If you were taught that love must be earned through suffering, you may find yourself giving endlessly to people who never give back. Healing changes that. Healing is the process of cleaning the lens through which you see love. Without healing, you'll keep attracting what feels familiar instead of what is good for you. And here's the thing. Familiar is not always safe. Just because you've known a certain kind of love your whole life doesn't mean it's the love you deserve for the rest of your life. Healing is not glamorous. It is not a straight road. Some days, you will feel strong, like you finally let go of the past. Other days, the memories will sneak up on you, and the ache will remind you that the wounds are still tender. But every day you choose to face those wounds, instead of hiding from them, you grow. And that growth makes you capable of giving and receiving love in ways you never could before. When you are unhealed, you enter relationships with an emptiness you expect someone else to fill. You believe that their love will complete you, that their presence will erase your pain. But when they inevitably fail to heal you because they were never meant to, you feel betrayed, disappointed, or abandoned all over again. This is how cycles repeat. You enter, you hope, you hurt, you leave, and then you start over with someone new, thinking this time will be different. But the truth is, nothing will change until you do. Healing before loving means you are no longer entering relationships out of desperation, loneliness, or the need to be saved. You are entering them from a place of wholeness. You no longer look for someone to fill the gaps. Instead, you look for someone to grow with. You no longer need love to validate you. Instead, when you are healed, you can set boundaries without fear of losing the person. You can communicate your needs without shame. You can walk away from what's unhealthy without feeling like you've failed. You are no longer so afraid of being alone that you will accept anything just to avoid it. Healing gives you the courage to choose peace, even if it means standing by yourself for a while. And here's the beauty of it. When you heal, your energy changes. You stop chasing people who are not meant for you. You stop begging for love that was never yours to begin with. You stop tolerating behaviors that dishonor your heart. You start attracting people who are healthy, whole, and ready to meet you at the level you've reached. And because you no longer carry the weight of your past into every connection, you are free to experience love in its purest form, not as a bandage, but as a beautiful addition to a life that is already full. Healing is the gift you give yourself so you can give love without losing yourself in the process. And the truth is, if you don't take the time to heal, you will keep mistaking your wounds for your worth. You will keep giving pieces of yourself to people who cannot handle the whole of you. You will keep building your future on the shaky foundation of your past. But when you heal, you bring a whole heart into the relationship. You know that you are enough without them, so you never need to shrink yourself to fit into their world. You know that love is not about fixing each other, but about inspiring each other to keep growing. You know that love should not hurt, and you are willing to walk away from anything that does. So, before you love again, pause. Look inward. Ask yourself if you are ready to love without fear, without desperation, without the shadow of your past, guiding your choices. Because the love you deserve will not have to break you before it can build you. And the only way to truly experience it is to heal first. 5. Walking away from what hurts. There comes a moment in every relationship where you have to stop asking, "Do they love me?" and start asking, "Does this love still love me back?" Because love, in its truest form, is not just a feeling. It's an action, a choice, a mutual exchange. And when that exchange turns into a one-way street, when giving becomes your identity and taking becomes theirs, it's no longer love, it's survival. Walking away from someone you love is one of the most heart-wrenching things you will ever do. Your mind will fight it. Your heart will resist it. Every memory will rise up to keep you tethered. You will hear their laughter in your head, feel their touch in the empty air, and wonder if leaving means you are betraying the story you built together. But sometimes, holding on is the bigger betrayal, the betrayal of yourself. You see, staying in a relationship that is draining you, disrespecting you, or breaking you apart is not loyalty. It's self-abandonment, and we disguise it with words like, "I'm fighting for us," or "I'm giving them another chance," or "Things will get better if I just stay strong." But love should not be a battlefield, where the only way to win is to lose yourself. When the person you love becomes the source of your deepest pain, you must ask yourself, is this love keeping me alive, or is it killing me slowly? If your love requires you to silence your voice, shrink your dreams, tolerate disrespect, or endure harm, it is no longer a safe place. It is a prison, and no amount of shared history can justify staying in a place where your spirit is suffocating. But walking away is not just about leaving the person. It's about breaking the emotional contract you made with pain. It's about telling yourself, I will no longer negotiate my worth for the sake of someone else's comfort. It's about choosing your own peace over their temporary presence. It's about realizing that the emptiness you fear on the other side of goodbye is far less dangerous than the emptiness of staying where you are not valued. Yes, leaving will hurt. The silence will be loud. Your phone will feel too quiet. Your mornings will feel strange without the routine of their presence. And in the stillness, your mind will try to convince you to go back, not because it was good, but because it was familiar. But here's the truth. Healing always feels like loss before it feels like freedom. When you walk away, you are not just losing them, you are gaining yourself back. You are reclaiming your voice, your dignity, your self-respect. You are making space for something better to come. You are telling your future, I am ready for love that does not hurt. And it's important to remember that walking away doesn't mean the love wasn't real. It simply means that love alone was not enough. You can love someone deeply and still realize they are not good for you. You can love someone and still decide to choose yourself. That's not weakness, that's strength. Because true strength is not in how much pain you can endure, but in how much peace you are willing to demand. One day, you will look back on this decision and realize it was the turning point in your story. You will see that leaving wasn't the end. It was the beginning of a life where love no longer comes with chains. And in that moment, you will understand something powerful. The love you left behind was never meant to be the last love you would know. It was simply the lesson that prepared you for the love you deserve. So if you are listening to this and you are holding on to something that is hurting you more than it is healing you, I want you to hear me. It is okay to let go. It is okay to choose yourself. It is okay to walk away. You are not giving up on love. You are giving yourself the chance to find the kind of love that will never make you question if it's killing you in the process. And when you do, you'll finally understand what I've been saying from the very beginning. Love should never hurt this much. 6. Choosing love that feels like home. Not a battlefield. There is a kind of love that doesn't make the headlines. It doesn't go viral on social media. It's not the kind that has the dramatic makeups and breakups, the public arguments, the tearful reunions in the rain. It's quieter, softer, steadier. And yet, it's the kind of love our souls were designed, for the kind that feels like home. Home. Think about that word for a moment. Home is not perfect, but it's safe. It's the place where you can lay down your armor and still feel protected. The place where you can speak without rehearsing your words in your head. The place where you are not auditioning for someone's approval every day. In a healthy relationship, love should be that home. Not a battlefield where you are constantly strategizing, defending, and fighting to survive. The problem is, many of us have been trained to believe that love must be dramatic to be real. We grew up watching movies where couples yelled and slammed doors but still ended up together in the final scene. We listened to songs that glorified jealousy, obsession, and emotional chaos. Somewhere along the line, we were taught that love is supposed to hurt a little, that it's supposed to keep you guessing, that it's supposed to keep you on your toes. But let me tell you something, the love that constantly has you on edge is not love. It's war. And when you are constantly at war, even with someone you care about, your spirit never has the chance to rest. Your nervous system never calms down. Your heart never truly trusts that it's safe. Choosing love that feels like home means choosing peace over adrenaline. It means you don't have to wonder if today will be one of the good days or if you'll spend the night crying into your pillow. It means your partner doesn't weaponize silence against you, doesn't turn every disagreement into a character assassination, doesn't make you feel small just to prove they're in control. Love that feels like home is not about the absence of conflict, because every relationship will have moments of disagreement, but it's about how those conflicts are handled. In a healthy home, disagreements don't turn into wars. Voices don't have to be raised for points to be made. Boundaries are respected, not resented. Apologies are given sincerely, not used as bargaining chips. When love feels like home, you can bring your whole self to the table. Your flaws, your fears, your dreams, your quirks, without feeling like any of those things make you less lovable. You can rest in the security that this person is not looking for ways to replace you, but for ways to keep growing with you. You can have the kind of love that doesn't require constant proving, because it is built on trust, not suspicion. And here's the truth. If you've spent years in battlefield love, where the fights are frequent and the peace is rare, home love might feel unfamiliar at first. You might find yourself waiting for the explosion that never comes. You might question why it feels so calm. You might even feel the urge to create chaos, just because you've been conditioned to think that calm means complacent. But over time, you will learn that this calm is not the absence of passion. It is the foundation of it. Because passion built on peace lasts longer than passion built on chaos. Choosing love that feels like home is not settling, it's elevating. It's saying, I no longer need love that tests my strength every day, just to remind me it exists. I want love that makes me stronger because it's a safe place to grow. It's choosing someone whose presence doesn't drain you, but nourishes you. Someone who doesn't just stand with you in the good times, but also sits with you in the quiet moments, making even the silence feel full. So when you're faced with the choice between the battlefield and the home, remember this. The battlefield will give you moments of intensity, but it will cost you your peace. The home will give you moments of peace, and from that peace, the kind of love that endures. One burns you out, the other builds you up, and the kind of love you choose will determine the kind of life you live. Because at the end of the day, love that feels like home doesn't just keep you safe, it makes you brave enough to face the rest of the world, knowing that no matter how hard the day is, you always have a place to come back to where you are fully seen, fully known, and fully loved. Finally, we've walked through the truth together. From understanding the difference between love and possession, to unlearning the lie that pain proves passion, to breaking free from the habit of romanticizing chaos, to choosing to heal before you love again, to finding the strength to walk away from what hurts, to learning how to choose love that feels like home and not a battlefield. Every word, every example, every truth in this chapter comes down to one unshakable reality. Love is meant to build you, not break you. If there's one thing I need you to carry from this, it's this: you are worthy of a love that does not demand your suffering as proof of its depth. You are worthy of a love that is consistent, safe, and peaceful. You are worthy of waking up every day in the presence of someone who makes your heart rest, not race in fear. And the first step to finding that love is believing that you deserve it. Yes, it may mean letting go of what you have now. Yes, it may mean walking away from the person you thought would be your forever. Yes, it may mean choosing long nights alone over long nights of silent tears in the same bed as someone who no longer sees you. But please hear me, the loneliness of healing will never be as heavy as the loneliness of staying in a love that hurts. When you stop confusing chaos for passion, when you stop romanticizing pain, when you heal before you love, when you refuse to stay where you are diminished, you create the space for real love to find you. And when it does, you'll look back and realize that what you thought was the end was really just the beginning. You'll see that the heartbreak was the teacher, not the curse. You'll thank yourself for being brave enough to leave, because you will be standing in a love that feels like home. So, to you listening right now, I don't know where you are in your journey. Maybe you're still holding on. Maybe you've just walked away. Maybe you're in the middle of healing. But wherever you are, promise yourself that you will not settle for love that hurts more than it heals. Promise yourself that the next time you give your heart, it will be to someone who knows its value and will protect it, not possess it. And if this message has touched you today, if it has opened your eyes, if it has strengthened your spirit, if it has reminded you that you are worthy of more, then I want to ask you to do one thing. Subscribe to my channel, Motivational Dose. This is where we have these heart-to-heart conversations. This is where we rebuild our thinking, our courage, and our self-worth. This is where we rise together, because your journey doesn't end here. And I will be here every step of the way, reminding you of the truth you deserve to live. So, subscribe, share this with someone who needs to hear it, and remember this: love should never hurt this much. Choose peace. Choose wholeness. Choose you. God bless you.